There we go. Oh, did you hear that? Look at that venom coming out. Then it stops short there. That's venom inside a translucent fang. Isn't that incredible? Woo! I'm as nervous as a jellyfish in the Sahara Desert right now. As we say in South Africa, give it a skrik and get it off. That means give it a fright only. Get it off the bra. He's a notorious snake when it comes to destruction of flesh. Hello everyone, Dingo here, and welcome to another episode. This one I have been nervous about, I've been super excited about. I don't know if it's going to work. It's an experiment that I've never seen done anywhere in the world before, and we're looking at the impact of deadly snake venom on flesh. That's right, I've got some fillet steak here today. Fillet steak for an experiment. I've got 4 pieces of beautiful beef fillet. Look at that, isn't that delicious? You want to put it on a little bra, on a barbecue, eat it down. Absolutely stunning. As we say in South Africa, give it a skrik and get it off. That means give it a fright only. Get it off the bra. Now, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be using 3 different snakes today. We are going to be milking them onto the steak. We are then going to put the steak away in its container, leave it for a while. I don't know how long we're going to leave it for. I've got a control as well. This is actually our control here. So let me close up our control. Let me get the right container here so that we know it's control. Let's close up the control. We're going to leave it there with the others, but this has obviously got no venom in it. So we're going to leave this. It might be 6 hours. It might be 12 hours. It might be a whole day. Who knows? The rest of the snakes that we're going to milk today, we got some crackers on the list. I might do a follow-up video of this work, so I've left some of the species for a follow-up video. We're going to start off though with the Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake, all the way from America. It should have a mixture of hemotoxin and cytotoxic venom, which should break down tissue, blood vessels. Now, you might be saying, Dingo, what is it going to do to a piece of meat that is actually not living, it's not alive? I have no idea. The idea is that it should be breaking down the tissues here. So even though there's no blood pumping to it now, it should still have some impact. But I've never seen this done. I've never done it myself. I have no idea what's going to happen. Let's get out the Diamondback, get it to bite onto this piece of steak there. I want to make sure venom is injected when it's biting. That's really important. So let's do that, and then we'll see what happens. All right, our first Diamondback is over here. Oh, come on. And it's not a huge snake. It's only about a 3-year-old now. Big enough for what we're needing, though. We just need a little bit of this venom to go into that steak. Let me just grab it quickly. I prefer using the tongs to neck these snakes rather than pinning them, especially if you're doing it on a smooth floor like this. Look at that snake. Doesn't it look perfect? What a beautiful, beautiful snake. All right, now it's quite tricky to actually figure out how to get this to bite on. So I'm going to put it right on the edge here. Hold the steak down, hopefully. The snake, there we go. That's what I'm after. Whoa, whoa, that's a good bite. Look at that, and you can see some venom coming through the fangs. You can actually see, look at this fang here. Do you see the yellow in the fang, and then it stops short there? That's venom inside a translucent fang. Isn't that incredible? Can you see it there on the camera? Right in this fang here, there's a little part at the end that hasn't got venom in it anymore. And I saw that venom pump down. Look at that one now. It's also gone up like that. So you can see the venom's in that first half of the fang, not in the end anymore. And you can see right there where the venom is in the steak. Look at that. Oh, look at all that venom. Plenty venom. And that's the Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake. Look at that. Some of the venom actually even came through. Look at that. Now what I'm going to do, I want to take this, put it on top of our steak there. Get it all on top there. That was a hectic bite. Now, Eastern Diamondbacks have the biggest, they have the biggest yield of venom of any of the rattlesnake species in the world and the longest fangs. As I said, this is just a youngster, but very impressive. Super impressive set of fangs on this beautiful snake. I absolutely love these snakes. Let's put this snake down. Let's put away the piece of steak and let's get out our next snake, and that's going to be the snouted cobra. All right, now the snouted cobra is a little bit cantankerous, as you can see. A little bit fasty. So what I want to do, I know, and he's actually been sleeping. This is him chilled out. Come a little bit closer here. There we go. Just want to grab him quickly. You're slow this morning, my boy. Okay, let me just get him back here quickly. They're quite difficult snakes to neck, because you can see their neck and their head is almost the same size. That's what I don't want, is them pooing all over me. Look at that. There we go. And this is a banded snouted cobra. He's just knocked his nose on the glass as he was going for me before I opened. But look at that guy. Look at the coloration. He is about to shed his skin. That's why he's got a dark color. Look at some shed coming off on his tail there. He's a beautiful orange and black underneath the shed. Let's get him to bite on here quickly. All right, let's get him to bite on here quickly. Let me just hold the steak in place. Much smaller mouth. I think I might do it differently. Let me rather go like that. There we go. Look at that venom. It's just running out this side. I don't know if you saw it that side. Put it in again. Now, technically, there we go. Bite in again. Bite in again. Technically, these snakes, look at those. Look at there. There's venom running off and there's just holes in all over the place there. Let me see if he wants to give us one more bite. There we go. Oh, did you hear that? Look at that venom coming out. All right, good boy. Now, technically, these snakes are actually, predominantly, they have neurotoxic venom, which means it shouldn't really break down tissue or anything like that. However, every single snake venom is a complex mix of proteins. So I want to see, is there a chance? When I got bitten by my black mamba back in 2003, I think it was, I had some swelling from that's a cytotoxic result around my arm as well. So let's see what this snake's got. We'll put it back. We'll get out our next snake now, the infamous puff adder. Now, some people might be saying, Dingo, it's not a 100% accurate experiment, because we're not saying, let's say, 5 mils of venom into each of the pieces of steak. So it's not comparable. What I'm trying to do today, it's not a perfect experiment, but is I'm trying to say a bite from an Eastern Diamondback will give you a certain amount of venom. Let's see what that bite would do to flesh. Let's see what a bite from a snouted cobra would do to flesh. Even though it's less venom, that's naturally what happens in a bite. The Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake is going to give you more venom than a snouted cobra. And here we are here with our third snake of the day, the puff adder. Now, the puff adder is a notorious snake. And when it comes to destruction of flesh from these fangs here, notorious. I mean, in my opinion right now, between this and the Bothrops, the fertilants of South America, they're the two probably most destructive snake venoms on the planet. And I'd rate the puff adder as the worst. This little cute face here, little orange face. It's got some daggers inside that face. And man alive, can those daggers and the venom from these massive venom glands here, can they cause destruction? So let's get it onto that piece of steak. Let's get that venom out and see what happens. Now puffies, they're normally quite quick to bite. I'm just trying to see which is the best way of doing it here. Come on. Just want to get your mouth open. Come on. There's a little bite. It's not what I'm after though. Oh, there, that's why. It's got one of his old fangs coming out, which are getting in the way. Look at that. Fang of a puff adder. Isn't that incredible? Whoops. Look at this fang. Just trying to pick it up here. And that's the fang. This is not a big puff adder. This is an adult, but it's still a youngster, probably only 3 years old. Big fang like this. Let's put the fang down. Let's just get the snake up again. There we go. That's what I want. Look at that. Bite down. I even saw the venom gland squeezing in there. I just want to open it one more time here. And this doesn't hurt the snake at all. Believe it or not, venomous snakes, they bite things all week long. Look at that. I just want a little bit more venom in here. You can even slowly and gently massage these venom glands. Now, some people might be saying, Dingo, that bruises the venom glands. Absolute load of rubbish. Yes, snakes can be delicate. However, they're not made out of paper mache, guys. They're actually super tough animals. These are living in the wild. These animals are coming across particularly in Africa. They come across other animals. They want to kill them, want to hunt them, and they defend themselves. Let me just see if we can get one more bite here. Wasn't convinced on those other bites there. Come on, one more bite. Okay, that's better. Look at that venom going everywhere. Splashed up, almost hit me in the face. There's venom everywhere. Look at that, 2 fangs in here as well. That's interesting. I want to see if one is old. This one here, one of them will drop out. Normally the one in the front here. And they're like sharks. They replace their fangs. Let me get that little piece of steak out. Woo! How's that? The puff adder. Look at those fangs. You don't want a little love bite from this guy here, do you? Man alive, that is massive and absolutely frightening. Let's put the puff adder down. And then let's put our steak away. We're going to leave it for a few days. Come back whenever we think it's right. We're going to check the difference between all these venoms on a piece of flesh. And guys, we're back 3 days later, 72 hours. I tell you, I'm as nervous as a hamster in a snake tank right now. Mainly because these are even the best. A controlled sample over here has been sitting in a box for 3 days. It's gonna stink. It's gonna be so stinky, it's gonna knock a buzzard off a carcass. I don't do well with gross smells. Smells that I've got a very quick gag reflex. I'll take on any animal in the world, but I can't do a Bear Grylls eating decomposing animals. It's just not a thing I'm really good at. So I'm petrified, actually. Woo! I'm as nervous as a jellyfish in the Sahara Desert right now. Woo! We're gonna start off with our control, just so that we've got something to kind of measure our other samples up against. Here we go. Oh man, this is gonna stink. Even this is gonna stink, I'm sure. There we go. It's a bit green. Have a look at it there. It's a bit green. It's not a good sign. Stop it now. Come on. It's a bit green. Sorry, guys. Oh, Kirsty, having the time of her life there, laughing at her husband. Woo! I don't know what's going to happen with the rest. Woo! I'm tearing up there. I'm tearing up. So, as I said, it's a bit green, but that's all I can see. I can't pull it apart. It's all right. Nothing too bad happening to it. So there's our control. I'm just going to close it up because it does stink. It's pretty rancid, all right? So let's put the control out the way. Next we're going to do, and I'm going to do it in order as I think it's going to be affected. So we do the control first. Shouldn't have any impact from any venom, obviously. Snouted cobra is next. It doesn't have a lot of cytotoxic properties in most of its venom. It's predominantly a neurotoxic snake, although that can change according to locality, according to age, according to the specific animal in question. Then we're going to go to the diamondback, the eastern diamondback, and then we're going to go to the puff adder, which should be probably the most cell or tissue destroying venom of all 4 of our samples. So let's go straight into the snouted cobra. All right, now this is what I expected to see. Snouted cobra, very similar to our control, except notice there's a darker patch in that corner. Darker patch, it's still not pulling apart. It stinks. It's still rancid. But you see that darker patch over there? So that's obviously where the venom came into this piece of steak. So there's that darker patch, but other than that, it looks pretty similar to our control. Let's put it down, get out the next one, the Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake. All right, here we go, straight into Diamondback. I'm a bit more worried about this one. Oh, look at that. That's rank. Look at that. It's got fur all over it, mold. It stinks way worse than the other two. I'll be with you in a second. Okay, this is more difficult than milking the snakes. Now, look here. So, can you come in closer? Look at the fur all over that, the mold that's setting in there. Some dark patches as well. Look at those dark patches underneath that mold. Look at that. And then even on the back side where the fangs came through, look how it's decomposing there. You see how it just broke open? I'm not pulling it hard, but look at that. It's just breaking open. Look at that. Much easier than that other one did. I hardly even pulled that. Look over here. Another fang obviously came in here. Look at that. Look at that. Just breaking up along those lines. And it stinks. This stinks something rotten. Could gag a maggot on this piece of steak. So you can definitely see, even though this is not a living piece of flesh, you can definitely see the Eastern Diamondback has had a bigger impact on the piece of steak than the snouted cobra and obviously on from our control. Let's put this down. We're going to get out the snake that I think would have done the most damage, the puff adder piece of steak. It's just like a waft of green smelly stuff here. I'm going to change my gloves. I can't handle it. Whew, I know I need to be tougher, guys. I'm trying to be as tough as woodpecker lips. But I tell you what, give me anything in the world except for eating challenges or smelling challenges. This stuff is rancid. 3-day-old steak's bad enough, but when it's been infected by some of the most necrotic causing venom on the planet, whoo, I can already see dark patches. Lots of mold and stuff like that on it. Okay, here we go, puff adder. The snake that kills more people in Africa every year than any other. The snake that's bite has been compared to injecting your arm or your hand or your foot with boiling oil, or sticking your hand in boiling oil and it keeps burning for a month. One of the most painful and destructive bites on the planet of any snake. Let's see what it's done to a piece of steak over 3 days. Look at that. There's just fur and stuff all over it. Look at those, a lot more. It's covered most of the piece of steak actually. Oh, sorry about that. This is the worst smelling of all of them. Like, a small piece of steak smells so bad. And what I'm noticing, I'll get to, okay, look at this side first here. Can you see how much fur there is? Look at these dark patches. Obviously where the fangs got in there. Look at, oh gee, it's just breaking, completely breaking up. It's rancid. Look at that. Absolutely smashed. Now on the back, before it breaks up too much, look over here. And all these crevices, look how the color changes. That's where the venom's got in, obviously. And it started decomposing all of that flesh over there. So let's bring it around to the front side again. Somehow I'm downwind of the smell at the moment. Look here. Look how that is breaking up. I'm hardly pulling it apart. And it's just breaking. My finger can just go through. Look at that. And I mean, it's a tender piece of steak, especially that part. Have a look over here. This is the part where the fangs obviously came in. It's where the black patches are. Look at that. It's just pieces of flesh coming off. Pieces of flesh. Now, can you imagine this was your arm or your leg or your foot, something that you've stepped on? I mean, this just comes apart so easily. Compared to our control sample, let me get our control out quickly. It's so easy to pull this flesh apart compared to this guy over here. Look at this guy. Nothing's coming apart. Doesn't matter how hard I pull him. I'm pulling him there just as hard. Not coming out. Look at this one. Just pieces coming off. Absolutely disgusting. There's our control over there. Look at the difference between these two. Isn't that absolutely hectic? Eye-opening stuff. Eye-watering, to be honest with you. Nose-watering. Man, it stinks. What a stinky, stinky mess. But this is what I wanted to demonstrate. The difference between what venom does to flesh where there's no venom in the flesh and when there's a lot of venom in flesh. Now, obviously, an actual snake bite, when you've got a lymphatic system working, you've got a blood system working, pumping that venom around, it's going to do a lot more damage than it's going to do in a piece of dead steak. But it just gives you an idea of how these venoms break down different tissues. That's where we're going to end it off. Thanks for joining us. Put your comments down below. Did you enjoy this video? Did you find it informative? Was it exciting? See you next time. Dingo out.